how have you navigated the rise of these influencers that may be encroaching on the photography profession? And I know there is no delineation like that, but if we're going to put labels on and some merge into the other, and now with iPhones, everyone's a photographer to some respect. And does that ever come into your thought process? Do you even care, or do you kind of grow
Oh
with
yeah.
it?
I try to grow with it. I mean, I think that should be everyone's goal is to find out how you're going to grow with it. You're going to be the person who's driving the horse and buggy when everyone else is driving automobiles. So you have to find somebody to grow with it. But, I feel like it's just created a new genre of photography. I don't know how much it's encroached. It has a little bit, obviously, like, moms with cell phones are hiring a professional photographer less when they can throw a timer on. Yes. AI headshots where I can upload a bunch of selfies and get a professional headshot. Yeah, there's probably a sect of people that's taking business from AI retouching. But there's this new genre of photography who someone like Kelsey or TJ is another one that comes to mind, where they're photographers, but they're photographer influencers. There's no name for this yet. They're photographer influencers, and their job is to photograph themselves, but in a professional manner. And their customers are not my customers. Like they're never going to get hired or want to get hired. Not even that they couldn't get hired. They're never going to want to get hired to photograph somebody's newborn photos or, the holiday Christmas card. They just don't have the same customers. Their customers would be like Canon and Profoto and Squarespace and, brands and, B2C versus, no, I'm sorry, B2B instead of B2C. So there's a part of it, you know, that definitely comes into play. I think weddings are the safest thing though, because mm, you're not going to AI that like product
And
photography
you're not going
might.
to influence it. There's no influencer that's going to go and do a wedding photography job, right? So,
Actually, wedding content creators are a thing, and it is somebody who comes around with their phone
okay,
and
slightly
just to
different,
do
but
that,
yeah, yeah. Well,
a little different.
that is growing with it, I guess. It's just accepting that that's just part and parcel of these days. And certainly, I mean, when we talk about influencers, I see through my friends and other kind of small photography network, a lot of photographers who started their career working for brands, hotels, or equipment brands or whatever they might be, and doing photography and video for them. Now influencers are coming in and kind of doing free collabs so that the influencer gets their content for their basically socials, likes and validation, and then the hotel or whatever get free stuff. So I do see that as being taken over, or certainly encroaching in that space. But yeah, I think you're right with weddings. So I think you're safe. I think you're
Pretty
good.
safe.
I think your quality speaks for itself anyway. So tell me about the wedding, just life on the road as a wedding photographer. If 148 days away doing weddings, or maybe there's some other
So not just
jobs in there,
weddings.
not just
No, not
weddings.
just
Okay.
weddings. It is, I do work for, well, one of those hotel companies. I do a bunch of shoots for Hilton Grand Vacations, which is Hilton's timeshare division. And I do a lot of speaking, a lot of traveling for Canon photo trips. I'm going to Africa at the end of this month. Bucket list for sure. But I'm going just to like take photos and be taught how to take safari photos.
Okay, cool. All right. So when it comes to weddings specifically, we'll just hover over that for a second. Can you give us an insight as to what your process during the wedding looks like? And we talked about you making some art form out of wedding photography, which you definitely do. Your wedding photography is incredible, and it's extremely fine arty, and you should, hopefully you're extremely proud of it. So whatever these other people say, they're wrong. Um, but I think that a lot of obviously skill, time, effort, practice goes into that. So tell us about the process of being a wedding photographer for a wedding and the life around that.
So, well, I guess what it looks like day of, it starts the night. I mean, it starts the week of, you're getting your equipment prepared, you're making sure everything is packed. And I'm asking them if they have golds or silvers. So I know what little lay flat or flat lay kit to bring. So all the little decorations that I bring to photograph the shoes and the invitation and things. And then The night before is pretty big for weddings. So I do things like make sure I email the couple, let them know, just a little reassurance like, hey, can't wait to see you tomorrow. Try to get some sleep tonight. Do you want me to bring you Starbucks tomorrow? And then I realize saying Starbucks to you is probably very offensive. Did I just totally?
We're going to bleep that out. Yeah.
I bring them my homemade brewed
AeroPress.
matcha. AeroPressed yerba mate.
Wow. Am I that pretentious? Oh,
No, but I'd like to be. No, but the night before, so I do that. And then for me, this kind of sounds silly, but I refuse to eat like shellfish and sushi or anything that could possibly violently upset me the next day.
good tip.
And then, yeah, it goes without saying, like, not going out for an all night bender, try to get to bed early, all those things.
What's the pressure like on the day? I mean, you've been doing it for long enough where I'm sure you feel less and less nervous, but there's still pressure, right? You still got to deliver.
Always, always pressure. And I mean, the nerves are there. I think they have to be there because the second they're not, you've stopped caring to some degree, right? So the nerves are there, but I do have the confidence that I feel whatever day I go into, I know I'm going to be able to give them quality photos and I know that they've picked the right person for the job. And I think understanding that helped me get over it. Like, if you are super scared and nervous, then you're doubting or you're contradicting their thought process in hiring you, right? Like, you're telling them, no, you're wrong. I'm not the right person. So you kind of have to convince yourself of that. And I think that certainly helped my pre-wedding nightmares anyway. Or like you have nightmares and you forgot your memory card or you're late, you get a flat tire.
Be prepared, but also kind of try and break down limiting beliefs. It's easier said than done, of course.